Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. It's time for another edition of Comic Book Quickies, and I've got a treat for you this time. I actually have some Hostess Fruit pies. Now, let's see if they're actually worth it for villains to give up their plans. No, they're really not. Basically like unheated Pop-Tarts, which I like, but no. And since we were on that subject, let's get the ball rolling with another Hostess Fruit Pie ad. This is The Incredible Hulk and the Green Thumb. Hulk like flower garden! Hulk use weed whacker! We see the Hulk inside of some kind of plant shop, and the narration informs us that the Hulk has been befriended by Cousin Betsy, the plant lady. Some people end up becoming crazy cat ladies. Others apparently end up as crazy plant ladies. See, it even says so on her sign. Cousin Betsy, the plant lady. And somewhere, David S. Goyer assumes that Cousin Betty was invented to be someone for the Hulk to screw. Now, dear green thing, I'm only too happy to take you in with all my vegetables and plants. Did she think the Hulk was a plant? Man, this reboot origin for Poison Ivy isn't very good. Hulk no remember how he got here, but Hulk happy. Finally find place where Hulk can find peace. Although Hulk preferred tulips. Unfortunately, it seems the plant lady, are we seriously calling her that? Jeez. Took inspiration from Mr. Computer, since a good chunk of her plants are actually abominations with faces and names like rhododendron, artichoke, and marigold. Mr. Computer, that finger thing from Bill and Ted? Why do I keep finding comics where people put faces on things that should not have faces? I want you to meet the Hulk. That jade giant is going to join us in our next robbery of diamonds and other precious things. So, wait, these plants aren't abominations, they're aliens! What, don't you remember? Back in the Batman number 147 review, the alien plants that bank robbers were using. Wow, that was an old reference. It's almost like next week is my 300th episode or something. Hulk no join strange plants. Hulk no like people or plants. Really? Because 2 panels ago you seemed pretty on board with sitting under the shade of one. All I ask for is consistency in my one-page promotional comics. Also, the Hulk isn't against the bank robbery part, he just thinks the plants are weird. Of course. The plant lady does not take this refusal well, ordering the artichoke to strangle him. Ordering the artichoke to strangle him. This is what I chose to do with my life. The Hulk lifts the artichoke creature over his head, and apparently the artichoke was keeping lots and lots of jewelry hidden inside its head, between its leaves. Also, Hostess Fruit Pies. It was keeping Hostess Fruit Pies on its head with jewelry.
What is happening?
Forget the diamonds, save the delicious Hostess Fruit pies! And suddenly, there's the next big parody song, Lucy in the Sky with Hostess Fruit pies. And suddenly it's the end, with the cops leading Betty and her plant creatures away in handcuffs, even though the plants don't have hands. A criminal gang of plants that love juicy Hostess Fruit pies! What next? Guys, we just got an APB. That giant flea market eating flea is attacking. Run. This is why I drink at night. Next, Hulk go find peace in city, far away from green things. Hulk full of self-loathing. So, the Hostess Fruit Pie ads aren't the only ads done as a one-page comic. As such, let's check out this little ditty that I first saw in Captain America number 326, which you may recall from a Long Box of the Damned episode. Aw man, isn't Long Box of the Damned such a great show? I wish there was a DVD currently available that you could purchase that featured more, like this one right here. And for this one, we have The Amazing Spider-Man in the Free the Cap'n mystery. Well, that's not much of a mystery. See, Spidey? Captain Crunch is right there in that box. You're standing right over him. Why aren't you freeing him? It's a mystery. Flash! Ah, savior of the universe. A final edition of the Daily Bugle bears bad breakfast news. Let's face it, guys, breakfast is ruined. And what is this bad news? Cap'n Crunch captured by Sogmaster. Fate of Crunch power uncertain. So the power that Captain Crunch wields is intangible and can be passed on to others? Soggies May Rule. The hell they will! This is America! We cut to Sogland, which is apparently a white void, where Spider-Man is investigating with a bunch of ranch dressing in his hand. Ew. Yuck! No solid evidence here, but I suspect the Cap'n's nearby. What exactly about that spooge made you think the Captain was nearby? Meanwhile, on a hill slop, it's Spider-Man, Sogmaster! Wait, if this is a meanwhile, does that mean that there's more than one Spider-Man swinging around this place? Also, seriously with this place? It looks like the Soggies are made of the same material as their land. Is this country just made up of the dead bodies of the Soggies? Anyway, the Sogmaster, who is apparently some kind of giant robot, or is he a Soggy who was critically injured and put into a cybernetic form to save his life, decides to end the threat of Spider-Man by swatting him with a giant fly splotter. I don't know what a splotter is versus a swatter, but I do know that there will be a great big splatter if that thing hits Spidey. And is Spidey actually able to stick to the giant mountains of cream cheese that make up this place? My spider sense tells me I better find Cap'n Crunch and spin on out of here fast, or breakfast'll be doomed, and I'll be sogged. Yes, breakfast will indeed be doomed. Why, kids might start eating Trix or Fruit Loops, or, heaven help us all during the Halloween season, Fruity Yummy Mummy. Anyway, the point of the thing is advertising a Free the Cap'n contest, which naturally is about 27 years out of date at this point. Seeing as the Captain is still gracing cereal boxes and Spider-Man lived to experience the Clone Saga, we can conclude Soggies did not end up ruling. Dodged that bullet. And now, excerpts from the Super Dictionary with that guy with the hat. 50. Atom counted 50 bees flying toward him. He counted 50 bees. Get bigger, Atom! That's as many as 5 tens. And that's too many bees when you are tiny. We'll be right back. And now, excerpts from the Super Dictionary with that guy with the hat. Anything. Robin will do anything for Batman. He will do any one of many things for Batman. So there's a comic that I occasionally get requests for. Marvel Team Up number 137. Who's teaming up? Aunt May and Franklin Richards, the son of Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman. Oh yeah. I should explain this, especially since, as you're seeing on the cover, it's the two of them versus Galactus. And Aunt May is glowing bright gold. In 1984, there was a kinda sorta event across the Marvel titles called Assistant Editors Month. The idea was that all of the normal Marvel editors are off at San Diego Comic-Con, so all the assistant editors are in charge of the books, leading to goofy hijinks across the titles. I would just like to point out that even in 1984, it was assumed that editors wrote the comics and not, you know, the writers. Everything was dictated by editorial mandate. Anyway, the point is that while some comics just basically ignored it, other comics did more humorous one-offs, like in Captain America number 289, where MODOK and the Red Skull combined to become Mo Skull. Mo Money, Mo Skull. And thus we have this. The main reason why I'm not planning on doing a full review of it is because, well, it's actually okay. I mean, it's not going to profoundly change anyone's life or something, but it's a decent enough story with a very silly, goofy premise. Galactus, Devourer of Worlds, is hungry for a meal because the last planet he tried to consume, well, blew up before he could sprinkle salt on it. Did I mention the planet was inhabited? Genocide! The first sign that this is a humor comic. Galactus comes to Earth seeking Reed Richards' help, but detects Franklin Richards instead. Long story short, he had been left with Aunt May at a circus while the Fantastic Four rushed off to San Diego with Spider-Man. Galactus attempts to turn Franklin into his new herald, but Aunt May gets in the way, transforming into Golden Oldie. Yeah. So Galactus tells Golden Oldie that they have to go find a planet for him to chow on, and here's where I explain why I'm talking about this comic here. When Franklin hears Galactus say that he hungers, he offers a counter-proposal. Galactus can eat some grossest twinkles. My favorite, right alongside grossest root fries. And it works! The one spongy cake starts sating his hunger a little, so he demands more, forcing Franklin and Golden Oldie to retrieve them from across the globe. And indeed, all the twinkles in the entire world are consumed. When that task is completed, Golden Oldie leaves with Galactus to find new worlds to sate his hunger, but discovers a giant twinkle in space. And it turns out the giant twinkle was made by,
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Stay Puft made the giant twinkle as an offering to Galactus, whom he worships as a god. And thus Golden Oldie suggests that he stay on as Galactus' herald to make more confectionaries for him, and she can retire back to Earth. But it turns out it was all a dream by Peter Parker, which was in turn being dreamed by all the Marvel editors. And then dreamed by Galactus. And then dreamed by the Marvel readership. I take offense at this ending. On the cover, it clearly says that this is not a hoax, a what-if, or an imaginary story. Except that since it was a dream, it was imaginary. But yeah, that was weird. And since we've been spending all episode talking about Marvel, let's go over to Superman for our final tale. Instead of a Hostess Fruit Pie comic, we have a different promotion. Superman in The Case of the Snake Shapes. Knowing the logic of the Fruit Pie comics, if this had been one, it would have been about vague silhouettes resembling snakes robbing a pet shop of all their snakes. But no, Superman is instead trying to hunt down the villain Toyman at a Kmart. So, you spotted that archfiend, the Toyman, here in Kmart? Okay, I know that later on, Toyman got a grim and gritty overhaul as a murderous child abductor, but this was 1982, long before that. He seriously just called Toyman an archfiend. The Kmart worker says that Toyman was playing with a magic snake toy, and that's what we're promoting. I overheard him say, "The perfect place! Aha! The perfect place to put this is right back on the shelf." Superman figures that whatever shape he twisted the magic snake into gave him the inspiration for his hideout. All they have to do is run through all the different shapes it can turn into. But Superman, the magic snake can be twisted into over 23 trillion different shapes. But for some reason, everybody just shapes it into a penis. 23 trillion? At super speed, this will take a mere moment! Superman! The Man of Steel! The Man of Tomorrow! The man who plays with a lame toy! And thus we see Superman going through several different shapes with the thing. The window shape, the question mark, the rectangular solid.
It'll be fun for approximately 3.7 seconds.
However, he settles on the globe. That's not a globe, Superman. That is a truncated cuboctahedron. Also, seriously? 23 trillion possibilities, and that is the one you settled on? Toyman could have just been stream of consciousnessing it, made a rectangular shape, and thought of a particular building. But whatever, somehow this free association means that Toyman is hiding inside of the Daily Planet globe. It seemed like the most unlikely hideout, Superman! How did you find me here? Plot convenience. I could say a friendly little snake told me, but let's just hope you learned, Toyman, not to toy with Superman! The next time they fight, Toyman is gonna be playing with a Furby and Superman is gonna be completely stumped. So yeah, there's your big Kmart toy promotion. Kmart has toys, games, and puzzles for the entire family, including the original Magic Snake! Yeah, you could have promoted G.I. Joe, Tron, or He-Man, but no, let's promote the Magic Snake. That'll get the kids into the stores. So let's remember what we've learned today, everybody. Robin will do anything Batman says, but Kmart has 50 twinkles to sate your hunger. But be warned, in case artichokes try to shove bees into their heads. I think that's what it was. I wasn't really paying attention. Because next week is the 300th episode! And boy, is it gonna hurt.
Take care to use real apples in my fruit pies.
So does Hostess.
Real apples.
Caring means my chocolate cake has a creamy surprise.
Like a Hostess cupcake.
Creamy.
Caring means fresh, wholesome Hostess snacks are baked with the goodness of enriched flour, skim milk, cocoa, sugar, and fruit.
My sponge cake is as fresh and light
as a Hostess Twinkies cake.
At Hostess, the care you take goes into all we bake.
Oh, what a sweet sensation. Hostess, this is gonna be such a luscious, gooey, flaky, sweet sensation. Oh, Hostess, this is ecstasy. It's a fruity fruit pie. I bet I'm dreaming of
berry
this is Hostess cherry.
and Hostess Twinkies cakes, cupcakes too.
Bees, my god.